All right, after a week and a half of being up in my garage, almost 2 weeks, I think. And then before that, it was up for about a month before that. So it's time to take this thing down and stick it back in the corner and rearrange the shop and get it all back out into shape. So we'll get it out and take that thing down and disassemble it and store it back in the back corner. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to roll out my oak and that I've resawed, my lumber that I've resawed, get it out here so that I'll give me some room to work around it. So I'll do that first. All right, pull the tables out. There's a little bit on the wiring and stuff. Basically, everything assembles with a plug so that I can take it apart and add it in there. And then, of course, I tagged it, which what goes to what. So I get ready to do this again, and then these have the same connectors, but they're color coded with a color so that I know which one goes to which. So you go ahead and get all that done. Then I'll unscrew this and take it off, and then come over here and get the controller, unscrew it, and it pretty much stays connected. And then this guy right here will unclip, and we'll be good to go there. So put the charger up. Then over here on this side, I've got a little box that plugs in where the bandsaw plugs into. That controls the on and off switch, the power of there's a relay in there, and what it does is it controls the 220 volts going to the saw so that I can do the remote through this deal here to turn it off and on. And then when it's all unplugged, this all works as normal. So there we go. And of course I'm going to take all this off, so let me get all the electronics off of it and finish getting that oak out of the way. Okay, there's my power plug. 220 goes into the wall there. This comes into this guy right here, and then this little guy here is the power over that, and this one gets its 12 volt plug over to the battery charger that powers the relay, and then that switches that 220 outlet, which goes to the bandsaw. So that's bandsaw remote on and off switch. So that's what that does. Okay, we've got that disconnected. Just need to take the battery charger, disconnect it, and that one disconnect. And this one has the 12 volt thing that comes over to this guy here. I need to make a quick connect for it so that it'll go in together and come out of there. Anyway, so there we go there. Put the battery charger up. Got the other parts disconnected. This takes about maybe an hour to put it all back together, with including the table and all the attachments, and line it up. But it's pretty well color coded and ready to go. So that works real good. These are just the traveler wires back to there's a pulse width modulator inside this thing and a couple relays. So it switches the power on to this guy right here and controls the speed to it. So let's get this all put together and put it up. And I generally will store most of that in the box down here on the end, and I'll keep the weights out along the wall there. So I'll take the weights, and so most of that will fit down inside of that. Some of it will anyway. All right, let's pull them 5 bolts out of there with the wing nuts. That loosens that up, and then we'll go to the other side and pull that other one off over there, and then we'll be able to take the blade off or take the table off. I need to unloosen that up there at the saw curve. Get that done. All right, pull my curve keeper off. Now I can slide my blade out of there and take my sled off of there. All right, got those off of there and ready to take the sled off there and put it over here with the other parts of the sled. And it's not a whole lot, it's one before, 2 before, and little plywood, 1/4-inch plywood, 1/2-inch plywood, 3/4-inch plywood, and you have even some 5/8 plywood for the fence. Actually have a really good, dependable saw for resawing. Over 200 logs on this thing now, and my biggest ones have been recently. Okay, I left this opening here so that I could take this resaw. So if I wanted to use the table just to resaw freehand, I could actually still take advantage of this without having to take the table off of it. And I'm kind of thinking, as far as the blade goes, the blade change, I might be able to do that, but it's almost as easy to pull the table off there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts left to pull off of there, and of course I store them all in this little thing here, and that fits inside that little square bucket, so it's all together ready to go. And I'll just clean it up as I go. These little guys right here, I'll take a cable tie or a red wrapper, tie them up, and get them up in there and that kind of thing. So let's get her done. All right, there's my wing nuts there. I've got one right up in there as well, and then 2 on the other side, and that's basically it. So there's only 5 wing nuts attached actually to the saw. So, and they're doing a pretty good job. You can see my means of hooking it up to the table. So, and then these guys right here, I'll hook them up somewhere or another. Of course, all of my important points are marked with red, and all my points that I can see, they get covered in red on the outside so that I know to put them together. So it makes for a fast assembly. I don't have to rethink the wheel each time. I just, okay, there needs to be one there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I'm going to take a section piece of pipe and take care of that little deal there with a thing that comes down there. It encompasses the blade and comes down here with a 2-inch, because I do get some dust down in here, and that will help keep some of the dust from falling away. Don't get me wrong, it does a pretty good job of taking all the sawdust away. So I haven't opened this up since I did all these resaws. So there's, you know, since the last time I did the blade change, but it does a pretty good job. Looks like I got a little, my bag in there is sucking up some of that. So anyway, I'll clean that up. All right, there's the 2 table has. The cords, just need to tie wrap the cords up on it to store them. And then those are the little parts for this resaw table. So not a lot really to it when you look at it. So it's not like a full, taking up the full garage. So anyway, it works good, and I've been cleaning up as I go. So there it is. The old shop opens up quite a bit when you get that out of the middle of it. Take all the wood out of it. But I like to keep it close and handy. I need to move that stuff right there and get it out of there. It seems to be occupying my floor space. So, all right. We'll move the CNC, the red cart back over there, move the CNC back in position, and start reshuffling stuff. Okay, there it is stored. This tall piece and 2x4 with the unistrut, or 2 sides and the rail. There's the box with the winch in it and the bolts and one of the controller boxes. And then my 2 tables, and then the sled. And they all pack into, it's not too bad. You're probably packing in about 36 inches in there. So anyway, you have to pack it away till the next time I need it. Probably pull it out in the fall. So let's get this put back together so I can get back to work. And that thing has got some dollies on it, 2 dollies that are bolted to it, plus the auxiliary wheels. Those wheels didn't hold up, so the shelving's actually strong enough, but the wheels are not, so I had to improvise a little bit. And I have it loaded really heavy, so here we go.